And then what else is part of the application? So definitely the application form, your high school transcript, always. And then if the college requires a test, that would be a part of that. If not, that wouldn't be. Many colleges require 1 to 3 letters of recommendation. Usually you're putting information about a resume or activity list of how you spend your time. Usually there's a personal essay. And then the last 3 are not as common, but some colleges will require an interview. And if you're applying to a specialized program, such as a theater program or a music program, there might be an audition. And if it's another type of art focused program, that you might submit a portfolio. So those are usually for more specialized programs. So again, key is to be organized, find out what's required for admissions at each of the institutions that you're applying to. And so what are colleges looking for? They are looking for academic readiness. They want to make sure that they bring in a class of students who can not only do the work at the college, which is very important because they want you to be successful, but they want to make sure that you're going to excel and that you're going to do very well there and you're going to feel a part of the college because you are academically suited. So academic readiness might be the most important factor that colleges look for. And how do they determine if you're ready academically? They look at your high school grades and program, and they make sure that you took a rigorous high school curriculum. And that means that you took advantage of some, if your high school offered an honors class, maybe you took advantage of that in an area or two. Um, Good grades versus challenging classes. People will always ask, is it better that I receive an A in a regular class or a B in an honors class? Colleges do like to see that you challenged yourself, especially in a couple of areas. So it is always a good idea to challenge yourself with your high school curriculum. They like to see improvement over time. Did your grades, go up from freshman year or did they go down? They like to see that you've sometimes exceeded minimum requirements. And they do like to see that you're doing well in the classes that seem relevant to the major or program that you're applying to. If you're going to apply to a science-based major, they want to make sure that your math and science classes, you did a good job there. And if you have interest, you can look up the sliding scale for mass public colleges and universities to just see if your grades fit and your grade point average fits at the different public institutions in Massachusetts. So then let's talk about standardized tests. Some colleges require them still, and that means either the SAT or the ACT. And it also usually means you can take either. Colleges accept both. And sometimes the advice that I've received from the tests is you want to take a practice test of both. Look into each, take a practice test, see which one honestly you like better, you felt more successful at, and then really prepare for that one and go forward and take that one. And the best preparation is to do just take practice tests, look at the questions, try to answer them, and then at some point take an actual test in a timed way. You want to have done that before you sit down to take the actual ACT or SAT. And there's a lot of practice. You'll take the PSAT from the College Board, probably. That's a practice test. And then you can see where you need to do a little more work. ACT has a practice test. So you can spend a little time with that if colleges require a standardized test. And again, many do not. And you can go to fairtest.org that provides a list of over 2,000 test optional schools. Another thing to know about is if you take an advanced placement class, and then you take the AP exam after that. That's a way to show subject knowledge and show that you can do college level work. So colleges like to see that. And your activity list and resume becomes important for college admissions officers because they want to see what else do you do. Academics are so important. Academic rigor is so important, but what else do you do? How do you spend your time? And the nice thing to know is it doesn't matter how you spend your time. In other words, the specific activity. It's just that they want to have a sense of how you do spend your time, and does that showcase leadership ability? Does it showcase responsibility, service? So do you have a community service job? Do you volunteer? Do you take care of family members? Do you have a paid job after school? Do you do sports? Do you play an instrument? And are you involved in a club? Have you become the leader of that club? They like to see all of that to get a sense of who you are outside of the classroom and what you might bring to the college. And then the essay. So the essay is really your chance to share something about you that cannot be seen in the rest of the application. They're going to look at your transcript, they're going to look at your activity list, but you have a chance to write something and show about your personal qualities so that they have a sense of who you are and what you're going to bring to campus. And you can really write about anything. I'm going to show you a list right here of the Common App essay prompts, and you can see that they are wide. So one is reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking? What was the outcome? And how about this? Describe a topic, idea, or concept you find so engaging that it makes you lose all track of time. Why does it captivate you? And what or who do you turn to when you want to learn more? So those are just some ideas. These are to get your mind rolling on what to write about. But again, you can write about anything, and you should write about something that's meaningful to you so that you want to write about it. Start writing early. You'll probably edit it a number of times. You might even change the topic, but just take some time. And then at some point, when you have an essay or two that you think are okay, you're feeling pretty good about them, then you might want to share it with a friend or a parent or a teacher and get some feedback. You shouldn't have anyone tell you, don't write about this, don't write about that, or rewrite it for you. But take their advice, as if they say, I think you should tell a little bit more about the story that you had from your volunteer uh, job. So take that type of advice from people, just and then rewrite and make sure that it's grammatically correct. There aren't any spelling errors. Don't plagiarize, and again, having time to get this essay in good shape. And again, a little tip: really enjoy and like what you're writing about, because that will come out in your writing. And letters of recommendation. So you want to probably get one or two teacher recommendations. Your high school will tell you the guidelines. They might have a form spring of junior year that you can give to a couple of teachers. In an ideal world, you'll have a junior year teacher in one of your 5 major subjects: math, English, history, science, foreign language. But there can be exceptions to that. The key is you want to get a recommendation from someone who knows you well and can write details about you. And always give the person a lot of time to write, and make sure you thank the people who are writing those recommendations. And interviews, I mentioned this is less common, but many colleges make interviews available, but they are not required. So take advantage of all of that. Why not talk to someone and ask your questions and be able to share about yourself? That's always a good idea. But then there are some schools that require it, and it becomes not just an informational interview, but an evaluative interview, meaning that it's part of the admissions process. And if that's the case, you must do the interview. So just be prepared. Be prepared to answer open-ended questions. The admissions representatives who conduct these interviews love talking with 18-year-old students. I mean, that's why they do this work. And so they just want to have a great conversation, learn more about you. So go in being a little bit prepared about yourself. Think about what you like to do, what books you've read lately, what kinds of things you do with your friends, what subjects you like, what you like about that institution, and make sure you've done your research about the institution too, because you want to have done that in advance so they know that you're very serious about applying to that school. And then just be yourself. Just have a nice conversation with the person. So then we get to the admissions decision. And again, this may happen earlier if you've applied early action or early decision, but it will happen sometime by the spring of senior year. And it could be that you're admitted. Yay, that's what you want. If you're accepted, that's wonderful. It could mean if you apply early that you'll receive a decision of deferred. In other words, we're going to defer you to the regular admissions pool. You don't know the decision, but we're not going to tell you right now. It could be that you're denied. And let's just get this out there right now. Don't worry about that. That may happen. Um, College admissions is a competitive process. There, as I mentioned, for many colleges, there are many, many more qualified students who apply than can be admitted. And so there are small institutions that accept 500 students each year, and they're from all over the world. So, and they might receive 20,000 applications. So they just can't admit everyone. And that's just part of the process. So don't let that devastate you. Just know it's part of the process. You may get denied from some institutions. And then a trickier one, you may get waitlisted, which means you're qualified, but they just don't have enough spots for all the qualified students. So you may be told, you're on the wait list, but you're not accepted. And what you can do for that is you can let them know that you're interested, you want to stay on the wait list, you're still interested, you might want to continue to let them know that, send any new information about yourself. But if you're waitlisted, you also want to move on mentally and start looking at the other colleges who are admitting you, because by May 1st, you'll have to make that decision. And you want to make that decision and go to a college that's admitting you.